Hope you're ready for tonight's episode. It's going to be a big one. Just as long as these corporate assholes learn that they can't mess with us. And I need to make sure Bray does not go to the dark side. Luke cannot die. That and more on this week's episode. Get Tekt. And welcome everybody to Get Tekt, the show that brings you the news you want to hear. 7 p.m. every Wednesday. And I'm here with our whole tech team here today, the whole Get Tekt group. We got obviously myself, Mr. Observer Q. We got over here Mr. Bazinga.
Hello.
The Tech Geek.
Yo!
And the Grim.
They never let me leave.
Hey, Gecko.
How's it going, Gecko?
What's up, man? So, we're going to start here with a topic that was breaking news this morning right when I got out of bed. The first federal government, what do you call it? Yeah, the federal government has just approved the first private mission to the moon. I think the company's called Moon Express.
Yeah.
Moon Express Company by the end of 2017, which is huge. We haven't been back to the moon in a freaking long time besides bombing the moon. So this is really big news. The fact that somebody's going to go back to the moon finally, it's going to be by the end of next year. It should have been done ages ago, I think. It's really going to put us back on the board as far as like space industry and getting out there, like really starting to explore our solar system, which we wish.
Yeah, but isn't it also cost them like an absurd amount of money too? I heard it was like an astronomical amount of money to get them to the moon.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of money. But I'm guessing, what do you call it? Moon
Nice, Gecko.
Express has the funding of some sort to actually get
Of course.
this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So they have some money backed away. So,
Like, here, have some bottle caps. Hopefully that'll pay for it.
So one of the other big ones that I saw this morning on my newsfeed when I woke up is everybody knows what Nintendo Power is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody
I
loves
have no
Nintendo Power.
clue.
I used to love it.
I have no clue.
For listeners, it was a magazine based on Nintendo.
Yeah.
That magazines were made of paper, guys. Did you know that?
Paper, they weren't digital.
Back before fire, there used to be magazines.
So
Kindle.
these are something kids, for all younger generation out there, we used to have to go out and buy these things to get to know the secrets to the games we were playing. Like for one, the Konami code was first published in one of those.
Maybe some of you needed secrets.
Mom, can I have your credit card to call the 1-800 number, please?
Yeah.
Mom, please.
For a
It's
person who
only
used to
$5 a minute.
It's only $5 a minute, yeah.
for a person who used to routinely beat freaking Contra on one continue, I'm not concerned with the 30-man code. Like some people I know.
Ouch. Them are some big words.
I used to play Contra like 8 hours a day. That was one of my favorite games.
Very good game.
So
I had a single issue of Nintendo Power.
So the entire publication of Nintendo Power is now available digitally for free.
That's cool.
I checked that out the other day. It was pretty cool. It's a little slow, but it was kind of like a nostalgia trip. I think
For the follow.
I'm going to play like Final Fantasy VI or something, and use the guide that they have in one of their books for it.
Now, to be honest with you guys, I didn't
man.
know that. I actually did not know that. That's pretty badass. No, I can understand why it's slow because if this is a newer thing, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I mean, the service can only take so much latency before it's like, okay, just give us a time. We're on Jenny Craig. We really need the help. We're not as fast as we used to be. Just let me slow down for a bit.
John J. Craig. That sir was not cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to be more PC.
No, it's really loud.
Yes.
Compared to lately, last year.
They're really loud for me. I turned it down. Let me see your headphones.
So anyway,
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, guys. There's sound coming through. I was loading up something.
You gotta wiggle your thing. Your adapter's getting stuck.
Oh, okay. So that's Nintendo Power, guys. So Windows 10 update ad blocks. What do you call it? Support for Edge browser. Now I don't know how any of you use Edge browser, but I don't use Edge browser. I don't know about you. Do you guys any use Edge browser? I hope not.
No, I'm only a Linux guy.
So, this is in a sense neat. I guess I am kind of glad they're doing this for people that are not exactly tech savvy because they tend to use Edge browser. Even though I tell them don't do that, please don't do that, they still do it.
Where'd he go? Did he take off?
Yeah, I think he took off.
All right.
We lost the Woodrow.
Dude, he's barbecuing.
So
I wouldn't even have been here for 2 minutes.
So I don't know if you guys. I've ran into this problem a lot of times in the tech field doing tech support with Windows Explorer, well known as Edge now. This thing is like a haven for just letting shit into your computer because the security protocols on this thing are horrible. And the fact that they're trying to actually, Windows is doing something about it finally, which is really good. They're going to stop this thing from showing ads so that you can't click on this crap that shows up, which is an absolutely amazing thing.
Agreed.
Do you use the Edge browser, Woodrow?
No, God, no. I've never used that once.
Well, they're adding ad blocker support
Well,
natively.
Wow, only
I don't
what,
like-
centuries behind?
I don't like ad blocker support because there's a few reasons actually. Especially the people who have higher Twitch followers, they get ads.
Yeah.
Money now ads, they don't get paid. Now I know people are saying, "Oh God, sponsorships, all this." They don't need the money. You do. You don't get paid to Twitch. You don't get paid to YouTube. You're taking time and money out of your own pocket to do something you really love. Mm-hmm. The ads really help. People don't understand that. Like, I let the ads run. Now, I subscribe to YouTube Red, and I've told you guys this a few times. Because even though I don't have the ads run, they still get paid for ad revenue. Because I'm paying YouTube to give me no ads. You know what I mean? They're still getting their money for their ads.
Now, see, I agree with you with the fact that people need the ads to support stuff. My problem is when it gets overboard, when like you go to a website and nothing will stop running in the background. There are ads there's like music playing in the background.
Oh,
That's
yes,
understandable.
I agree 100%. Absolutely. I know what you're talking about.
Like going to
That's why I have
N4G
that
and there's 17 ads running at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, even
that's why I
G2A
got
is
it.
like that too. Like, they get really like obtrusive with their ads. I mean, even when you have them on their websites, throw their banners and their freaking music and all this other crazy shit playing. Yeah, I completely agree.
Like with Twitch, if they are Twitch followers, they can choose how the Twitch, what are they called? The ones that are partnered on Twitch, they choose how long their ads are. The longer the
Right.
ads, the more money, so they could go up to like a 2-minute ad.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I go turbo. They still get paid for. I mean, I think I pay like $8 a month for it.
Yeah,
They still get paid for their ads, but I don't have to freaking deal with them.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a Turbo member myself, and yeah.
I recommend
I gotta
anybody
get on
who's
that.
a Twitch follower, anybody who subscribes to Twitch, anybody who does anything, go turbo. It really, really helps content creators. I mean, not so much as us as Get Tekt, because we don't really have a big base yet. We don't get ad revenue, but really, please subscribe to Turbo. I know it's only $8, but it really helps everybody. You have no idea how much it helps.
Well, my thing is I want a spot for the rest of my I want to start saving my RPG videos on there because I hate uploading them to YouTube. I get trouble
Sure.
and annoyance, so I'm really looking into doing it because they just permanently keep the stuff on there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's very true.
See how this.
So we want to go to the next side. So our next topic here. As soon as it comes up, so everybody's wondering why we're all these new transitions. We're using XSplit now. We're no longer using OBS.
They grew up. These guys are so sweet,
I
aren't
don't know what
they?
you're talking about, grow up, because
Dude,
that-
I love XSplit. I think I pay. I don't know how much a premium license is a year. It's like next to nothing.
OBS
and-
looks great for me, man.
It is so nice.
It's just the
XSplit is
options
so
that it
nice.
uses are pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the
Oh,
fact that
it's
you
so
can turn
nice.
you can turn objects into 3D ratio, so they can change. The
Yeah, it's pretty badass, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like when we go to the Hangouts view, your camera's at an angle.
yeah. So it looks like it's actually on a TV inside the space station.
Yeah, I saw that because I was laughing at how Woodrow looked when he was bouncing around in the background on one of the like windows. I thought that was hilarious.
So
He needs a swing so he can swing on the swing set with the camera.
Anna's right there.
Also, I gotta tell you, I like the choice of Rioni Kenshin when people follow. It's a good choice.
yeah, that's actually like mini Rurouni Kenshin, but
Yeah, it's still Kenshin, dude. I know who it is, man. Don't test my anime knowledge. I'll crush you.
Ooh.
I know nothing about anime, so please, anime away. I'll just.
Okay.
So,
Attack on
anyway.
Titan is God. Nothing else matters.
so anyway, this is something really cool that I know that my girlfriend is like completely like cringing. You know, she wants to get one of these things. I hope they come out with one for in America for the Super Nintendo. So Japan, they've released the new Nintendo DS version that looks just like a Super Famicom. It's really cool
I
looking.
saw that.
It's really cool looking.
Will it play Super Famicom games?
Now,
No.
without, I mean, I don't mean to object. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but if you go on PlayAsia.com, I believe they have them. You can get them shipped to America.
Oh yeah. Well, she's hoping for them to do one for America that looks like a Super Nintendo.
Oh, like the NTSC, where
Yeah.
it's not a PAL. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So that'll be her third new Nintendo DS because they've changed the model. But that's
Yeah.
So I found this article. It was neat. It was called "Remembering Chrono Cross."
I remember Chrono Cross. It was an amazing game, but also disappointing.
Yeah, well, it was a neat
I
article.
agree.
This guy goes into a whole thing how he met his wife and all this other shit just over Chrono Cross.
Oh wow.
Dude, all right, I got to talk about Chrono Cross for a minute. You want that passion? Here comes the passion. All right. Chrono Cross is the best music in the history of RPGs, in my opinion. The soundtrack. The game itself is amazing, but only if you're not a huge fan of Chrono Trigger. If you're a huge fan of Chrono Trigger, you just look at Chrono Cross and get annoyed because it's not Chrono Trigger.
This is one of the best opening theme songs to a role-playing game that was ever written.
It's very good.
I still
Wild
have
Arms.
I have. This is like probably one of the only ones I actually have the soundtrack to on CD still.
Now we go to war as I counter him.
But yeah, I played through this game so many times. Oh my god.
I thought you hated Chrono Cross.
No,
Like,
I
I
thought
thought you
Cross
were-
was great.
No, I was disappointed that it wasn't as good as Chrono Trigger when it came out, but it was.
Yeah, it was
a
the
damn good
same
game.
the same situation.
It was a damn good game though.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
But the thing that I always loved about that game, and I'll actually link it in the chat in a second, but go ahead and that just shuts down your intro thing. That's the best intro. In a second.
Sean, see the
'Cause we got people have to understand where I'm coming from here.
Alright, so everybody,
Oh,
Grim's
good.
gonna be linking link in the chat room if anybody wants to go to it. Go check it out.
All right, hang on a second, because I gotta
I remember it's like, 'cause I can remember it's funny. I was
Okay,
working
here
a
we go.
retail job, and I used to literally work third shift, come home and nothing, and play this game, and then go back to bed, then go back to work. I was obsessed with this game. I remember.
Nate, can you link this into the video so people hear it?
We're playing it right now.
No,
his,
this.
his.
I want
So,
the other one you
pause
can
that
show
one.
after, but I would sit for hours and just listen to this music. Like, this is I'm not kidding. This is the most relaxing music ever. It was the best overworld music in games. It's so freaking relaxing. Like, if I couldn't get to sleep, you know how some people listen to like thunderstorms and shit like that? I would turn on this because it's relaxing.
Can't find it. Where is it? So loud. There's so much going on.
I don't know what to tell you. It's playing with two things running. It
Yeah,
doesn't sound good if
we're
two
going
things
deaf.
are running, people. Okay, now cue the hanging guy from the
Yeah, the flag. Yeah.
from the fan with the technological difficulties.
Well, it's a really loud, very loud because it's on like low audio anyway. So which one came out first, Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger?
Trigger.
Trigger.
Chrono Trigger came out first.
Yeah. Now
Chrono
what-
Trigger. A quick history on Chrono Trigger. Sorry about that, Nate. I thought it.
No, go ahead.
No,
thought
that's
you were-
fine.
Anyway.
We were interrupting each other. That's fine.
The quick history on Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is a game where basically the heads, the best developers from Square and the best developers from NX got together and wrote a game. It was like one of those 80s power bands. And to this day, most people who play JRPGs will tell you Chrono Trigger is at least in the top 5, if not the best one ever made.
Yeah, it's very
Because
good.
of how incredibly good that game is. And then Chrono Cross came out, and if you had never heard of Chrono Trigger, you'd be like, wow, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah. Now,
But-
you remember what was the original? Now, this is before that team got together and made Chrono Trigger. Do you know what the original Chrono Trigger was?
The original Chrono Trigger was a game called Radical Dreamers, and it was like a text adventure game.
Well, no. I mean official release, and it wasn't under Chrono Trigger. It was under a different name.
It's called Radical Dreamers.
No. The official release was Final Fantasy Three Adventures on the Game Boy, and if you play it, you'll
Okay,
realize
he's wrong about that. We're gonna fight on that one.
you will
Trust me, I
see
know
that
this.
this was the start of the Chrono Trigger series. The storyline, the ship, everything is in it. And then when that team got together, there was more members, and they took his story that he started. It was like, let's work off this, let's make it better, and that's what they did, and that became Chrono Trigger.
Exactly.
Oh, now he seamlessly transitioned to his room.
Yeah, he's running because I know I'm right.
I'm telling you right now, stock Android is the greatest goddamn thing in the entire world. I don't care what anybody says. The Apple products can go bite a big one because I literally did nothing to get it from my phone to my computer. It is fantastic.
I was shocked to find out the other day that you can just go USB to flash drive and use it.
It's crazy. Like, speaking of flash drives, I know we're getting off topic, guys, and I'm really sorry,
No,
but I
no
need
problem.
to say this. There's a new SanDisk drive that actually connects to your iPhone 5S and above via Lightning or whatever the charging port is. I think it's Lightning. I want to say it's Lightning. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, you can actually back up all your stuff on a 32 gig card. Walmart sells them at $35 a piece, and it plugs right into your charging port, your iPhone.
Wow.
It's freaking phenomenal. Go Apple for once. Sorry, John.
So,
I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
Grim.
Nate,
Grim would like to have his rebuttal.
But-
the only reason why it seems
Jesus.
like there's any similarity is because the people who localized Chrono Cross used stuff from Final Fantasy Legend in naming to help with the localization because they were limited by the amount of people.
Uh-oh.
The only thing that's similar is the airship, but the airships are in everything. The
Yes.
teenage and the time travel, but there are multiple time travel games. Chrono Trigger in itself has nothing to do with them at all. What Chrono Trigger has to do with is a small thing called Radical Dreamers, which was a short story in a point-to-click game that became a full-fledged part of Chrono Trigger, which led to Chrono Cross, which is what Chrono Cross is based off of.
Well, no,
Which is Radical Dreamers.
we'll bring up later on, or I'll post it in the YouTube video later on.
I've got it right here.
No, there's a YouTube video that points. They took key points from the Final Fantasy 3 adventures, like that, and they put it in Chrono Trigger to show like little crossovers. There's a couple of them that they found.
But the developer said that I've got an interview from the guy. He's explaining that they didn't draw from Chrono Trigger, and that the people who translated the American version changed up some of the stuff to make it seem relevant to the other one that was coming out, and that in the Japanese version of Chrono Trigger, or
Final Fantasy Adventures.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Adventures. Yeah.
The Japanese version of Chrono Trigger has names that are completely different than the names that are in the American version.
Oh,
the
okay.
American version changes certain names to correspond with 3 because of the people who were translating it were big fans of 3 and they thought it connected. But
Now-
the developer says it doesn't connect at all,
Huh.
except for a couple of like hand waves to it because they thought it was one of their better games.
Oh, okay.
Now, didn't a similar thing like that happen with Super Mario RPG as well? Aren't there different things between the American version and the Japanese version too?
There's quite a few different things in a couple of Final Fantasy games too.
I'm really, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember where.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 4,
was
which is
like
2 in America, was quite different as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like I can't remember if it was SGDQ this year when they ran Mario RPG. I know I heard it somewhere where they said they run the Japanese one because it's faster and it's much more streamlined than the American one is.
Yeah, there's less. There's some glitches that are in the Japanese one that are not in the American one. The language is quicker because you can scroll through the screens faster because obviously the way their language works is a lot quicker. They can put a lot more characters in a screen a lot faster than we can with English.
Right.
Keep in mind, though, too, I could also be wrong, and Nate could also be wrong because we're getting our information from someone else who curated this information together.
Wiki.
So we don't have 100% direct access to the original quotes and all this stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
We're just going on info that we know, and also Wild Arms has a
and we
better
always
intro.
encourage people to do their own research as well. So one thing that me and Mr. Bazinga were playing yesterday, this is a lot of fun. Anybody who has GTA 5, definitely go check this out. GTA 5 gets, what do you call it, the track editor for the Cunning Stunts mode. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Can I shoot people while I'm doing them?
I have no,
That's going to be coming soon, actually.
yeah, there's no guns yet. On it.
I haven't even played GTA 5. Yes, I'm the only person on the planet who hasn't
I
played
don't
it.
like
We
it.
are going to have to
I
get you a
don't
copy
I
of
don't installed it.
We're going to have to get you a copy.
Yeah, the GTA 5 summons, it's really fun, and because because Rockstar made it that you don't have guns mode, but as it says, there's a track editing mode soon, so everybody will be able to make their own settings in game where you can actually shoot people. That'll be crazy. That's gonna be
Now,
crazy.
Grim, have you ever played Trackmania Stunt, Trackmania Sunrise, anything like that?
I'm not a big fan of Trackmania because it's more of time trials and racing against other people.
Oh,
Well, to be
yeah.
quite
I'm
honest,
more
that's what
into
it's like in Grand Theft Auto, but
Yeah.
we race against people.
Mhm.
And if they do a track editor, dude, the options are going to be more than limitless.
Oh yeah.
Plus, adding the fact of guns, and you can just troll everybody.
Well, you can see this. You've played the ones that I've downloaded, right?
yeah, of course.
So that's exactly what they're gonna be able to do, but it's gonna be more streamlined with those extra track edits and stuff. I hope there's gonna be a map that you literally fly the car across the screen.
That'd be
I mean,
cool.
across the whole entire map.
I haven't done racing games in a long time, but ask Nate. I'm more of a hardcore Gran Turismo guy. Like I'm the kind of guy
Oh,
who
yeah,
sits
yeah.
there.
Well,
you're
this is
talking
not
my
more so
language,
much
yeah.
like the quality
not a
racing.
sim.
It's more like
Yeah.
really just having fun, like doing crazy races.
It's like
Yeah.
riding in slot cars. Slot
Yeah.
car
Think of
racing.
Evil Knievel on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you add. That's really
And
what it's all about.
Gecko said the exact same thing. He's like, it reminds him of a Trackmania vibe. It was just kind of
And
funny.
it's fun. Like I
Yeah.
watched my buddy Mike play it. I haven't played it personally. Like I said, I got sick of the hacking on the game, so I uninstalled it. Plus, I'm
It's
ready
not-
to rebuild and reinstall my computer
Yeah.
anyway. But,
It's not too bad anymore. It's just it still kills my bandwidth, and I don't know why. It cut my bandwidth in half last night.
Isn't
I mean,
it
if-
crazy?
I don't get
If
it.
you guys want to get real deep into the GTA thing, like I like online games. I can't play GTA online because I don't like that auto aim bullshit. Like
Oh,
I
you
need
can shut
a
that
full
off.
fl-
You can turn
Yeah,
it
but
off.
even then, are other people shutting it off? You know what
No.
I'm saying? Like the way the shooting works in GTA has always been subpar. Just like with Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption had a great multiplayer mode, but then you had people run up and a gun just follows you, and you're immediately like, nope, this whole game's ruined now.
Yeah.
Well, if you're playing in a mission type thing, you can shut it off. Everybody
I'm
shuts
talking
it
about
off.
straight up PvP, dude. Like I like to
Yeah,
go out and kill.
You can
people and
go
stuff.
into I don't think you can auto aim
No,
It has-
I haven't
it has-
been-
people.
It has like a
Yeah, yeah.
it has a
You
targeter,
can.
it's assisted
targeting
targeting.
reticle, and a bunch of other
Yeah,
assists
it's
in it.
assisted targeting. It's
I must have it off because I'm like, damn it.
And that, like I said, that's what turns me off on that game because I would love to play a real GTA game that had no assisted aiming at all, and it played like a Gears of War third-person shooter.
You can
view.
set it up like that. You can create
you
bodies
use-
and set it up like that.
Yeah, if you use mouse and keyboard, there's no auto aim.
No, there's not.
If you use a controller, there's auto aim. But
Yeah.
I know you like using a controller, so.
I can use a mouse and keyboard. I like to lay back when I play.
Yeah, no, it's understandable.
I spent
Yeah.
8 years sitting too close to the screen playing World of Warcraft, dude.
I
I'm
control
back to doing it again.
I control the car with a joystick, and I do the rest with the mouse.
Yeah. So, everybody remembers this horrible artwork from a
Are
great.
you kidding me? That
great
stuff's
game.
amazing. No, I'm not joking.
Mega Man
That's
2.
amazing.
So, this article talks about they got a hold of the artist. Now, 'cause he was talking to him, and he was actually. They showed him like a very brief couple seconds of the game, and was like, "You need to draw this." And he's like, "A guy with a gun? What do you want to draw here?" And he had to do it in like less than half a day, and this is what came out. And
Visionary genius.
But just so the guy's like, this is his other work though is actually pretty good.
Hey, Willatron, welcome.
Called a
Welcome
game
to
called
the stream, man.
Shoplifter. It's actually pretty cool artwork. So this guy does know what he's doing. So everybody don't berate the artwork of this guy, but I figured it'd be a neat piece of our.
Well, you gotta
Retro
understand,
culture.
Nate. Yeah, it was terrible back then, but now because of the nostalgic terrible feel factor, it is amazing. That
yeah,
Mega
yeah,
Man
yeah.
2 artwork is now the most amazing artwork ever because you look at cheesy stuff, like Kung Fury, and people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, it's so cheesy, it's awesome." You look at that for game release today with that, you go, "Oh my god, it's so cheesy, it's awesome. I'm buying this now on Steam."
Yeah,
You would flip
I
because
know.
you'd be like, "Oh, this game's got to be nostalgia and crazy all over." Guy's a genius. Visionary genius.
And here's one for Mr. Grimm.
So Grimm's one of the ones that are going to be getting one of these. So
Actually,
this
I'll
one
be
article is
delaying.
showing that the EA says that this that the PlayStation VR is going to revolutionize the VR community. And I think he's right. I think it's the closest thing that's going to succeed as far as virtual reality.
At this time.
My own personal opinion, everybody has to agree with me. That
Everybody has to agree with you.
no,
You say?
not everybody has to be agree. But I personally feel that the way VR is right now for PC, I think it's going to end up dying within a year. PlayStation, if anything, is going to be the only one that's going to keep on chugging along because of the price point and too much hardware.
Okay, I agree with you on all of that, but I want to point out something with this EA thing, and that is, and this is going to probably piss a couple people off, screw EA. I don't believe it's shit that they're saying, and I don't trust their word on this at all about being excited, because every time a new console comes out, they claim they're going to be excited about it, and what do? They throw out bad ports and terrible launch titles, and then if the thing bombs, they blame it on the system. So when this VR comes out, they're going to release a couple terrible games early, and if those games don't sell, they're going to turn around and blame the VR, and they're not going to support it, because that's what EA and all these other big third parties do.
No, you got a good point there. They do.
When
do
they
that.
say they're excited, I don't think the reality is PSVR is going to rely on Sony and indies to become big. It's not going to rely on these AAA companies, because these AAA companies are not really going to support it. If they really were going to support it, you'd see like a big budget AAA EA game going to PSVR, and you won't see that until that thing sells, because they don't take any chances.
Yeah, like they're not going to do Battlefield VR. They're not talking about that yet or anything.
Oh, they'll do a Battlefield VR. It'll be like some one-off crap where you can look at the guns.
Yeah, like they did with Kinect.
Yeah. Like, but with Kinect was just a terrible thing anyway.
Yeah, which is
But they just don't have the respect for these platform holders to throw their money in behind them. You know what I mean? Like, if I said to Nate, I'm launching a Nintendo console and I need you to make a game for it, Nate's my friend. I know Nate would be like, all right, I'm going all in. I'll do everything I can to make a great game. If I went to EA, they'd be like, we'll make you something.
Yeah, we'll try.
So I heard they announced they announced the requirements that you need for the PSVR, and it's supposed to be like a 10x10 room or something.
That is deceptive. I can explain that.
Go ahead.
Because Sony has said repeatedly that most of their games are going to be allowed for you to stay sitting and use that and play them.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't need to have that much room to play, because you just sit down. You got, as long as you got the clearance for the camera so it can track your head, you're fine. They're doing that because some games might need movement, and they don't want to be sued. You know, like if they say it's 6 feet and someone steps out of 6 feet and trips over something, cracks their head open.
All right.
Yeah, but like if I put the camera, Nate, you've seen my house. If I put the camera on top of my TV and I sit back where my couch is, I'll be able to play sitting VR games, no problem.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I actually sent my Vive back.
Really?
Yeah, because
You weren't vibing on it?
well, no, the headset weighs a fucking country ton, and
Really?
it's very uncomfortable. It does not have built-in headset like the what's the other one, Oculus Rift does, and it's so uncomfortable. Well, back on the EA conversation, I just want to get my 2 cents in really quick. I played Dark Age of Camelot since the game released.
Oh yeah, they bought it, right?
The EA bought it, and that's when it lost so much of their player base.
And you were hoping they would get the player base back.
Exactly. I figured they would, but as soon as what the hell was it? I want to say Labyrinth and the Minotaur released, and Trials of Atlantis too. That was pre EA though. They ruined the game so much. Like, I'm so glad Broadsword bought them back out. It's turned into be a better game, but oh my god, EA destroyed it.
Dude, if you want to talk about EA destroying, you're right, because remember Warhammer?
That game doesn't even exist anymore.
They cut 40% of the content. They were like,
Exactly.
it wasn't supposed to come out for another year, so they could get the dungeons
I love
and the
game,
raids
though.
in.
Oh god, it was
Warhammer
so
Online.
Yes,
Oh,
they were.
Oh yeah,
so
we played that
good.
opening.
They were supposed to get dungeons, raids, and it was supposed to be capital cities for each
Yep.
race. When the game came out, there was one capital city for each faction.
Yes.
And
No,
no
you're right.
raids, and the dungeons were broken. Me and my guild got the max level after like 5 days, 5-6 days, maybe 10 tops. And we went to try to run the first dungeon, the one inside the Dwarven City, I think it is, or is it the Empire City? And when we went in there, we were getting one-shotted by everything. And we're like, what's going on? We don't have the gear. So we went and farmed gear for like 2 weeks, came back still getting one-shotted because they didn't balance any of that
It
crap
was
out.
so broken.
And
It
they
was
didn't want anybody
so,
going on
so
in them.
broken.
Oof.
But they didn't lock any of them to keep you from going in. So we were going in wasting hours of our day trying to figure out what we're doing wrong. No, it's impossible to do.
So,
Yes.
so speaking of something else that Mr. Grimm here just recently got access to, but even though he can't talk about it.
We can't talk about anything at all. So don't. All we can say is something great's happening Sunday. We're going to do something cool, and we can't tell you or show you any of it. But at one point, we're going. Dude, the fact that you said that and then put that up is immediately in violation. Do you not understand how this works?
Oh no, I'm not looking at the Twitch stream actually. To be honest with you.
He put it. He said, speaking of something that Mr. Grimm just got access to, and then he threw up a picture of what it was.
Oh no.
Well, this is the system requirements for anybody who's looking to get this, what do you call it, hold this game in the future. They come out, they've released the system requirements.
Not too steep. Should be all right for most people that game on their PCs.
Yeah, doesn't look too bad. So everybody prepare
Nate,
to
the
hear
king of
more.
NDA breaking.
Prepare to hear more about this game later on, everybody.
So you can't even say that you got to get in it.
No.
Really?
You
Well, that's
can't
kinda silly.
mention anything like that. No.
So, Xbox One S review has come out.
Yeah.
Wow, it's small.
It's tiny. It's
40%
beautiful.
smaller.
And 4K support.
Yeah, and
Which the first one was supposed to have.
and the controller is actually
Yeah.
Bluetooth this time.
It's about time that it's Bluetooth. I mean, like, I've got a couple of them. I've got a couple Xbox One remotes, but the thing is, like, I have one specifically for the computer, and I have one for my Xbox One because you can't use one with the other. Meaning, I can go ahead and plug my camo one into my computer, but I have to resync it with my Xbox One if I want to use it. You can't just, plug and play each one of them and use them both. It kind of sucks. But with the Bluetooth one, you can use, like, if your computer has Bluetooth like mine does, you can go ahead and link that via Bluetooth.
Oh,
and
that
use
would be
it on
awesome.
Xbox One. You don't have to worry
Okay.
about syncing.
Sorry about the typing mistakes. I don't type well. My keyboard has no letters on them anymore. View the Vevash.
So, Tech Geek, what were you saying?
With the newer Xbox remote, with it being Bluetooth, like my motherboard supports EDR 4.1, as does the new Xbox One. You can actually use them both on each system without needing to resync. That's why I own two Xbox One remotes, one specifically for my computer and one for my Xbox One. Now, if I was to take the one from Xbox One and put it on my computer and say I wanted to use it on my Xbox One again, I'd have to hit each button, each sync button to sync it back to my system.
Yep, I do that every
You
week.
can't. Yeah, exactly. It kind of sucks. But with the new Bluetooth controller, that completely eliminates that need.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It really is pretty badass. Now,
On
I
the
don't
other
know
side
how
of it,
that
though.
works really, is I'm thinking, like, if you press the power button on the Xbox One control, is it going to turn on your Xbox One and your computer at the same time?
Oh my god.
Like, how is that going to work? Is it going to screw up, like, radio communication? I don't know, because I've never tried it. I don't have one. I have an old Xbox One.
I had a Turtle Beach headset, a wireless one, and for some reason the newer Xboxes interfered with it, and I couldn't even use it. It interfered with the Wi-Fi.
Really?
Yeah, when we lived in Florida.
Oh, God, yes, I remember that.
The
Holy
Wi-Fi,
crap,
yeah, I could never get connected with the
died
headset
every
on.
single time. I
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, yes. You are correct. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a troubling time.
So, this
Grim,
review,
did you have anything to say?
I just wanted to say that number one, I should have turned my Xbox in because if I decided to buy one of these, I should have knocked off the price. But a couple of things. First, the shady BS marketing. They give you $200 for a PS4 and $150 for an Xbox One right now at GameStop.
Ugh.
Microsoft is claiming that they're doing an upgrade program. They're telling everybody we're doing an upgrade program. Just take your system to GameStop. The problem is you trade it in and you get the same exact credit you normally get. They're not doing any system.
Oh yeah,
any upgrade.
they don't
promotion.
get any extra. Fuck that, dude. Not
No,
games.
there's no upgrade program. They're just telling people there is to trick people into thinking there is. It's just trade in your system for the same credit you would have got 6 months ago,
Yeah.
and you
Am
get
I-
the stupid system.
Oh, you are more than welcome. You're definitely better putting it on eBay, taking the 10% hit off of eBay, and the
Yep.
2.5% hit off of PayPal. And you're
Yeah.
still going to make more money doing it that way. Like
And-
GameStop, they hurt you. They like stick it in your butt with no Astroglide.
And my final argument towards the S is, although the system looks great and looks
It's
cool,
pretty.
it does look cool. Does it matter? Like from a gameplay perspective, the price is already low. So whether you're getting a new one or the old one, you're still paying the same price. You're actually paying a little bit more because the old ones are going to drop to like $250 now.
They already
So
did
now
in
you're
some
paying-
places.
You're paying like $50 more for this new S1 with a couple extra features. But is that really going to tip the scales? Like
Only if you
did
have a
people-
4K TV.
Now here's okay. Now
I'm not talking about
that's
gameplay.
exact-
I mean sales wise. Like I think Xbox is on its way out of the industry when it comes to consoles. And listen, it's on its way out of consoles and it's on its way to something like a Steam box. That's what the Scorpio is. Something that runs Windows and is more of a PC than a console system.
I see where you're coming from, but like, okay, I have an HDR 4K sitting right behind me, completely unopened. Now, in order for me to get a Blu-ray player for that, that's $300 just for the Blu-ray player with HDR compatibility. Now, the Xbox One, the new one, has that built in. That's already paying for the price of the console. So you basically buy the Blu-ray player, get the Xbox for free. And not to mention, my TV upscales all content to 4K so long as it has an HDR signal, and the Xbox does. So and theoretically speaking, I'm going to be able to play Xbox One in 4K.
Yeah.
That is pretty freaking badass, if you were to ask me.
Yeah.
My Xbox One currently does not do that.
The only
It
thing,
will upscale a little teeny bit. You notice it just a hair. If you really like me, I know what I'm looking for. But this new Xbox One, dude, kudos to them. Like it is, especially at the price point, dude. It's unreal what they're giving you.
Well,
You buy a Blu-ray player, get an Xbox One for free.
Yeah.
Hands up to
like
Microsoft
when
for
it
that.
comes to the like I said, the hardware itself is great. I'm talking from a business standpoint of them trying to make their money back and also them trying to build what do you call it, an install base. I don't think this is going to move the install base at all. If like last month they were offering the regular Xbox for $300 with 6 games and people still weren't buying it.
And no,
So-
and I agree. Like you're gonna need the people that have these newer 4K televisions. Like you're right. You are absolutely completely 100% right with
it
what
also
you're saying.
needs HDR support, which they all don't have yet.
Yeah, if you don't have a 4K TV and you buy this, all you're doing is buying a Blu-ray player. If you already had one, you don't
I mean,
need
I
it.
have a 4K TV in my living room that does not support HDR.
Yeah,
so this Xbox S is going to be completely pointless for me. But
yeah,
right behind me for my new basement that I'm building, I have an HDR Vizio. I literally just bought a brand new one. It's I opened it to play with the tablet because it's fucking cool. But no, it's really, really, really cool. Like I thought the price point was going to be so much higher with what they were giving you. I'm telling
they
you, go
gotta have
look
the
online. Like the
lowest price they can.
Samsung, the only Blu-ray player that has HDR support, the true 4K Blu-ray players are $300 a piece.
Wow. And I don't know about the whole going to like a Steam box idea because they tried that when they came out with the Xbox One,
It
or
failed.
before it came out, and they were like,
Yeah.
that's why they went back. Now, maybe if they made like a Windows Steam box type thing.
That's what I mean. I don't mean a closed thing. I just mean like they're moving away from a console and towards PC more.
Yeah.
makes
But
more
there's
sense.
the console. There's still a huge console market, and either way they go, PS4, Xbox, whatever, they're still gonna want physical media. Especially when they get to the young people get to the age where we're at, where we're nostalgic about things. You're not going to be able to go, oh, I remember this game. Let me see if I can download it if it exists anymore. Versus, oh, I can go pick that game up and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's nothing. Even though on my PC I've got 100-something games on Steam, it's nothing like having that Duke Nukem 3D box.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but
I
know
miss
what you're
big.
saying,
I
like-
miss big box games.
So
Agreed.
So
Go
the
ahead.
one thing this guy covered in this article, the only thing that was like a negative, he said the thing gets like super hot. He said don't put anything on top of it or on the side of it.
It's just like a DirecTV satellite box.
Yeah,
it gets
I have
like
the
super-
DirecTV Genie,
Yeah.
and my main box, it gets so hot. Like, you can cook an egg on that thing. If you want fried eggs, please, I'll cook it on my DirecTV receiver. I mean, it works. But no, I agree with what they're coming in. Like, their cooling system for the Xbox S, or whatever the hell they call it, is not good. They should have put a water.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Like, I'm hoping it doesn't, but we could have a hardware meltdown system again, like they had before.
Oh yeah, Red Ring of Death.
I mean, it probably won't. I'm just saying they clearly rushed to get this. Like they've been floundering, and probably from day one they've been trying to figure out how to make this thing look better, ways that can make it more appealing so that people will buy it, and it's all led to this point.
I concur, but I mean, look what happened with the Xbox 360, and they went to the Xbox. I think it was called the Elite.
Oh,
I could be wrong. The smaller one, they got rid of the Red Ring of Death. I mean, you don't really see that happen anymore. And I believe they're using the same cooling architecture. And don't hold me to this because I very well could be wrong. So people that are listening, I could be wrong. Do your research. But I really don't see that happening. Yes, it's going to get hot. Like, just my Xbox One gets hot as it is, and I have the door open to my cabinet that it's in.
Yeah.
I mean, even my computer gets hot as shit. I mean, where my radiators exit out, you're looking at 140 degrees of air being pumped into my room. You know, it's not cold by any means necessary, but I really don't see a hardware malfunction happening.
I'm hoping that there won't be an issue.
I hope not either. I agree. Like, I love PS4 and Xbox One equally now. I don't have a side anymore. I no longer have a side because they're both beautiful systems in my opinion.
Once the Neo comes out.
My side is dictated by the type of games. I like Japanese games. I like RPGs. I don't think there's enough variety on the Xbox.
If you like your JRPGs, then yeah, PS4, please.
Yeah.
All day long.
Or 3DS.
Yeah, 3DS.
Which is why I'm so excited about the NX, because if it's a portable system mixed with a console, and they get the same support they got before from the Japanese devs, I'm looking at a ton of old school style RPGs on the way.
I mean, you're talking about the same argument. Like, even if you're talking about cars, like, you know, you'll have some people who like the Rex more than the GTI, who like a turbo or diesel truck more than they do a regular truck.
Evo.
Exactly. I mean, you're comparing tomatoes and apples. You know what I'm saying? Or what is apples? I don't remember the fucking
Apples and oranges, which are both yummy, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they are. Very, very good.
So, speaking of apples and oranges here, we got a pretty nifty article that I found earlier, physicists have begun to understand how people learn abstract concepts, which is really interesting. It really makes you think about how your opinion differs from someone else's opinion so much and why it is.
But isn't that the beautiful part about the human condition?
It is.
I mean, I enjoy not so much arguing. I like the idea that you can get a group of people together that all have the same ideas but have different ways of presenting their ideas.
Yeah.
And if you were to listen and learn from other people instead of argue with them, dude, like, okay, for instance, me cooking, I love to smoke. I love to cook. And I have learned so much from different people's cooking techniques and all these things that I once used to do, and I've just learned more from it. Instead of arguing, I just took the time and listened. Dude, it's gotten me like so many. Like today, I got. I'm sorry, I'm plugging this, but it's probably one of the proudest moments of my life, other than becoming a father. I got my people who made my smoker, Yoder Smokers, featured me on their Instagram today. It was probably one of the biggest like highlights that I've ever done, and just learning from other people without arguing with them. You know, taking your time to say, "Hey, thank you very much for the time," even if I knew what they were talking about, even if I already knew the information. I would thank him for it. It's gotten me places. I think it's pretty badass.
Making me hungry.
But I agree with what you're saying. Like I love getting into a room of people that have the same love as I have, and not so much as arguing, just sharing opinions, because the human nature is such a beautiful thing when it's done correctly.
Yeah. Now, what this article really points out the fact that, we'll use your example. You've gone down your route learning how to smoke and stuff like that. Then you
smoke food, by the way.
Yeah.
Smoke food.
So
food. Yes, food.
So
the only important smoke there is.
correct. You take someone else that's also learning it, but yet say they went down and they've encountered different things and they're running a different smoker. Now your brain takes in all these different elements here and there. Yes. And then say like once you talk to somebody else that's going down a different route, it's almost like your brain starts putting against this like a jigsaw puzzle in your brain, and it's like, hey, there's a hole right there, and that person had it. Wait, now that works again. Wait, that works again, and it starts fitting it together, and it starts clicking all together when you start talking to somebody that has these missing pieces, and you have missing pieces that they have, and it all starts working. Then it evolves into something else.
It's a beautiful thing.
No.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like. It is. It's a gorgeous thing. Like Nate, when you started talking about Ubuntu and using Linux, I'm like, it's Linux. But I went ahead and got the new what their LSR or LS whatever they call it.
LTS. It means
LTS,
long-term support.
Long-term support. Yeah. I made a hard drive specifically for that, and dude, I am telling you right now, because of you, I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
it is a great, great, great thing. Like now my computer dual boots in it, and I can't wait to build it up again just so I can do it again. It's a lot of fun.
Ubuntu is single-handedly making the user interface for Linux like really well done.
It's Windows easy.
Yeah.
There's no learning curve anymore. They really put it there for you. And if it wasn't for you, Nate, and I really mean this, I would never have tried it.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, and the same thing with Ivan. Like I taught an 80-year-old woman how to use Linux, and she like thanks me every time I see her.
Isn't it awesome? It's a beautiful thing.
That's crazy.
Because she had an 11-year-old computer.
Keep going.
And I taught her how to use Linux. I was like, your computer's not going to run on Windows anymore. It just will not work properly.
Right.
You'll have no support. You'll possibly get viruses. I was like, let me put this on here and I'll teach you how to use it. I sat down with her for a half hour and then I let her go to town. And then now she runs Linux. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. This 80-year-old woman loves her computer and she can still use it now because of Linux, even though how old it is.
Yep.
So we had a question from one of our watchers. Willitron asked what good equipment to use to help their content. And I always recommend like a good mic and a good headset, a good webcam if you want to use a webcam, and lighting.
Yeah, lighting.
And a great personality.
And a PC that can do it.
Yeah, I mean, your most important part about streaming is your processor.
Yeah.
Your processor takes such a heavy hit. Like, if you really want to stream and game on the same PC, your happy ass is going to need a water cooling system. You are going to need more than just a Corsair loop. You're going to need to be able to overclock your processor to I'm telling you right now from personal experience, like, my processor's overclocked by nearly 40% on its own separate liquid cooling loop. And it still gets hot as hell.
Well,
like, it's really a serious thing if you really want to produce beautiful content.
I don't know if you don't need to go that far because my computer's not super beast, but my videos don't look bad.
I'm talking like, okay. Sorry, I forgot to add a really important part. That's assuming you have a subpar internet connection. If you have a really good internet connection, like 120 and 120, or even 120 and 10 like what I have, you're okay. Your processor isn't going to get to hit that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have a good internet connection, your processor is going to take a real brunt of the load.
Plus, it also depends on what the resolution of your monitor is, that it will have to downscale it to go online and stuff.
Like, I run a 2K monitor, and for me to downscale to 1080, that hits. It really hits
Just
hard.
wait till you stream with the streaming rig. It's going to be...
I showed this to Bazinga the other day. There's an option in the streaming thing that I use that allows my processor to process more of the video so that less of it has to be processed by Twitch, which will speed up your stream.
Right.
I wish it worked for me.
When I turned that up, like, we were playing Evolve a couple weeks ago, and I had left mine on, like, slow, because that's how I play my retro games, because it doesn't take anything at all.
Right.
I left that on slow, and when I started up Evolve, my stream went to chugging, and I couldn't even voice chat. My thing was running at 99%, and I had to kill the game and turn that down. I basically probably almost fried my fucking processor.
I'm surprised you didn't, actually. Holy
shit. I was like, oh God, it closed it out just in time, like within seconds. You're streaming on Xbox, which means everything's done for you. You just need a good connection, and everything should be fine. When I upgraded my connection a couple weeks ago, my PS4 stream jumped. Everything's way better. So much so that I can do remote play to my computer and stream off my computer so that if I'm playing games that block out cutscenes and stuff, the cutscenes will show up because I'm doing remote play to the computer.
That's cool.
So the best thing that you want if you're streaming on Xbox is a good headset.
And a good connection.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the good connection. That's but you want to have a good headset so they can hear you. Because I have played on Xbox and played with people, and all I get is all these weird noises and stuff, and it's
The headset
awful.
that comes with it is pretty much crap.
Yeah.
I've got a $125 gold PlayStation headset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get a good one. Also, tell your friends and anybody else to check us out, dude. We could
Yeah.
always use more people watching. We enjoy the company.
Yep.
We got a bunch of streams. Everybody streams some random stuff. And
And
if
it's
you link
honestly-
your stuff in, I'll check you out too.
And there's no such thing as a bad question either. Even if you think it sounds stupid, like there are people that don't even know how to like a copy a file over or change a file name. Please ask any question. Like I'm sorry, I'll use a past example. I worked at Staples once. This lady wanted to wonder why. She wondered why her scanner wasn't working. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Bring it in. I'll fix it for you. I'll tell you what's going on. She brought in her computer monitor. I'm like, okay. All right. So, okay. She says, well, I'm putting the piece of paper up to it and it's not scanning through. I'm like,
Hello, Samung.
Oh.
Samung.
Oh my God.
so-
Dude, I'm sorry. That is
Sam
hilarious.
RMG.
Like, it took a
Oh
lot of me to
my
not
God.
laugh. Like, I literally had to really compile my composure because that was something else. I had to explain to her, like, you need a separate scanner. That's your monitor. That's what, gives you the video.
As she
You need
leaves
a
you
scanner
going.
to
By
get
the
it in
way,
there. She goes, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, we sell scanners over there.
like, as she leaves, you go, by the way, cover the right side of your screen because that's where the government watches you from.
The funny thing is, I used to have one of those watches, the Timex I had the Timex data watch where you
Oh, I
could
know
like
what
store
you're talking
phone
about.
numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the way you would store phone numbers, that you go on your computer and key them in, and then you'd put your watch to the monitor, and the monitor would flicker and do all these weird things.
Yeah.
And then it would show all the information, and it would put it all on the thing, which is pretty neat.
Wow.
You using Skype to speak? No, we're using Google Hangouts.
Yep.
Sam OMG.
So I want to give this guy was a great actor and his career was just starting. Anton Yelchin.
Oh.
So his his family is now suing Chrysler
Oh.
for this fault. Because supposedly the parking brake did unlatch itself and roll him over. But
Yeah, I heard about that. That's
it's very unfortunate. And what's fun, he's actually officially now, I don't know if everybody knows of the 27 Club, but he's actually officially inducted into the 27 Club.
yeah.
Sad,
You know,
but it's true.
Talking about that, I kind of dislike, like, they didn't. I watched the new Star Trek. They didn't really. Just for Anton, I was kind of hoping they'd do some sort of small tribute, maybe a clip of some stuff.
No, they
Like
are
a
gonna-
retrospect thing.
They
where it
said-
goes
no,
back and forth?
the writers said they can't disclose what they're going to do in the next Star Trek, but they said expect something.
Oh, okay, so they're waiting for the
Alright.
next one.
They didn't
because
have,
I
they didn't
won't.
have time. This guy that wasn't that long ago at all. The
Yeah,
movie was
I'm not
already
talking
done.
about like in
Yeah.
the movie. I meant like at the end credits, maybe a trailer of a couple of things in the video.
They are going to be doing something, like he just said. They're not disclosing it, but they are going to be doing something for him. Kind of like what happened with the late Paul Walker.
And then
Oh yeah.
I also, no spoilers, but I think the way they handled the Spock stuff was great. I
Yeah.
thought the fact that they
I
wrote
haven't
that
seen
whole
it yet.
thing into the movie was great.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Hey Trixie.
At one point, not really a spoiler, but at one point they have a picture of the whole old crew after the first movie was shot, and Spock is looking at it, and I was like, dude, that's
Yeah,
so
it was
cool.
a
Yeah, I
tribute
knew
to the
that. I
original
knew
crew.
that part. I knew that happened.
It was really
it's not
cool.
so much of a spoiler. Yeah, a lot of people knew about that though.
It was
Yeah.
very good.
That was already
But-
leaked.
Yeah, that was leaked a long time ago. Well, not a long time.
So
ago.
I'm learning that XSplit
It's fantastic.
uses a lot more power.
Yes,
It's-
well, because you're running an actual app, you're running a real like memory dedicated program as opposed
Yeah.
to OBS, which kind of runs in the background. Yeah, XSplit does. Like that's where the 32 gigs of RAM is really going to help you.
Yeah.
I guess I'm glad I don't use XSplit then. 'cause
XSplit's very nice because it streamlines everything for you. There's no guesswork.
Yeah.
It will literally
I figure I'll
do
wait until I get a new
everything
computer
except your
for it now.
laundry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
used
keeps cutting out our audio.
Yeah, I used to not like. I always recommend OBS, and last night I streamed GTA 5 on XSplit, and it ran beautiful.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It takes
So-
like if you're new to streaming, XSplit all the way. But if you know how to adjust your bit rate, if you know what you're looking for, like as far as quality, OBS will be superior. It's
Yeah,
not
I got
gonna
mine
kill your
running
system.
pretty good. Like I'm pretty happy with mine. Except earlier today I had some hiccups, but I think it was Twitch that was having problems because it wouldn't connect to videos and channels and stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
But-
I had a question to ask you guys. Did you guys hear anything about Twitch increasing their ingress? Now, the Connecticut Board of Broadband Internet just passed gigabit internet connection. So Connecticut is going to be the first state to allow full state scale gigabit internet connection, which
I hate
will be
you.
happening at the
Oh,
end
wow.
of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking badass. And now I heard Twitch's ingress server is going to be increasing its bitrate for that. Did you guys hear anything like that?
No, yeah, I heard about that a while ago. They didn't have a date or anything, and a lot of people didn't know if it was speculation or just a rumor floating around.
So out of curiosity, what is that? Because I don't know much.
Ingress is like what you put out to the Twitch server, which it takes in. Like ingress meaning to take in. Like I think the maximum right now is 3,200 bits.
Wait, so
I
what?
could be wrong.
So
but-
what you mean is it's exactly what I was talking about before when I said like if you don't process the video from your computer, Twitch sometimes fall behind, and that's why people have to buff your stuff.
Yeah,
Right, that's what I had so much trouble with. I had to mess around with my settings for months.
See,
to
the
get that
reason, the reason I'm trying XSplit is because when we're streaming this, we're also recording it,
Right.
and for some reason OBS records horribly.
Yeah,
The video is washed out. It's not clear. It's bad.
Unless you record by itself. If you're not streaming, and you
no.
just
I
Really?
tried that. I tried every setting. I changed bitrate from like 1,000 to 50,000.
I had really good luck with mine.
Oh, it was awful because I kept saying,
Oh.
"Man, I gotta get something better," and I went and just opened up the camera app in Windows, and I was like, "Wow, that looks freaking crazy." Yeah, it was. I cannot get OBS to make the camera look good on recording. It looks fine on streaming, but recording, it's awful.
Yeah.
My camera looks good when I have enough light. Other than that, it gets kind of
Light
annoying.
is a really big thing.
Yeah, lighting is huge.
So, before we get a little too off here, we'll move along to
We've been off for a while.
some riding luggage. Who wants to ride their luggage around the airport before they get on the
That
plane?
looks so cool. Like my fat ass would never be able to do it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a giant heffalump, so it's not gonna work. But oh my god, it looks so fun.
I just think it's
I think it's cool.
ridiculous.
I love it.
No, of course it's ridiculous.
Hi,
It-
my name's Kevin O'Donnell.
it's just
and
funny
I'm the owner
'cause
of Motorbag. It also
how
has
many airports are gonna ban those?
I'm just waiting for one yuppie idiot to come driving that thing around.
What were those shoes called? The Heelys, I think.
Oh, man,
yeah.
I wanted those so bad when I was a kid.
Right, like that's what I see it as. Like, yo, I'm going to Terminal A. Peace.
Yeah.
And the batteries run out halfway. Like, oh,
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna be banned.
oh, dude. I think it's-
Look out, they go 8 miles an hour. That's pretty fast.
Someone's gonna get run over. A little kid's
8
gonna get run
miles an
over.
hour.
No, people are going to be exploiting it for their Pokemon Go.
Oh.
I think it's so cool. I mean,
And that-
for people that travel a lot.
And then they're gonna get the cheapos are gonna get some of those electric razors
Fucking
and
speeding
put their
tickets.
their luggage on that and ride their razor.
You're riding your bag too quick, please. I'm going to have to give you a ticket.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get patrolmen in there.
Oh.
Get a motorcycle license for your fucking luggage. That is so cool.
I actually
Sir,
learned,
you need to exit the luggage immediately now, sir.
the funny thing is, I learned that they came out with a skateboard that I guess they have a powered one, but they have a skateboard that rides like a snowboard. Because in the middle of it, it's got rollerblade wheels that let you turn like it's a snowboard.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I saw it on Craigslist. I'm like, what the hell is this? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, there's a skateboard subscription I have for on YouTube. I forgot the name of it. But like they made an all glass skateboard.
Oh,
Which
geez.
broke after
that's
nothing.
nice.
They made it all glass. It was
Of
really
course.
badass.
They tried to do a grind and just
Yeah,
broke
it
it
was
in half.
bad. But they skate anything. Like they made wheels out of golf balls. And it legitimately worked. It was really freaking cool. But I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really neat.
So Bazinga's possibly looking to get this phone. He's going to bring up this article. I think he wants to talk about possibly his next phone.
The Galaxy Note 7. It's got a Retina tracker scanner, so
Yeah.
you can unlock your phone, which is pretty cool. It has 4 gigs of RAM. It looks like that's the standard this year. There are some phones that have 6 gigs, but Okay. What did you do? So this has a 2K screen. It's also HDR.
Yep.
What did you
Like-
do?
But even like even the Nexus 6P and the LG V10 have that too. I mean,
Oh, really?
it's nothing new. Yeah.
And it's got the
Phone wars. Someone hit the fight.
There we go.
No, there's no phone wars.
no.
I'm just
Nope.
joking.
It's got the curved screen. It's got the 2K video, and it's got a 0.7 millimeter. What the hell just happened now?
How does it do that?
I don't know.
It's
because they don't want to be ad
pressing
blocked.
buttons. They don't know what they're
They
pressing.
don't want to be ad blocked, so you got to turn that off.
Well, I don't care what they want.
It's got a USB charging device, and in their thing at the show, they were like, and a microphone jack or a headphone jack, which was kind of funny.
And it's like it seems like the new standard. Like I plan on getting the OnePlus 3. It seems like the new standard is going to be USB 3, USB-C, which is great. I'm glad I'm seeing that all these new phones are getting USB-C.
It's so nice.
It's so much nicer.
so
It's
nice.
such a better standard.
And you don't have to choose which side it goes in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's got quick charging, a bigger battery, and for some reason it's
Doing it
whatever.
All right, guys. I'm sorry to cut this short. I got a boogie. I really got to put that application in.
All right.
It's been fun, guys. I'll try to get back in a reasonable time. If not, you guys enjoy the rest of your podcast.
All right,
Viewers,
thank
thank you very much for watching.
That was the Tech Geek, everybody.
Later, guys.
See you later, man.
So yeah, I might get the phone. I was looking on AT&T, and they do have a deal where if you get the phone, you can, with a 2-year contract or something, you can get a watch and a tablet too. But I probably won't do that because it's gonna like just make my bill even more bigger.
Yeah, it's gonna make it huge.
But
A watch? What is that mythical thing?
but they did have a thing where my audio keeps cutting out.
Yeah, mine does too.
They did have a thing where you can before, when you put down like you can only put down like $200 and it would only drop your monthly fee 10 or $5 or $10, which was nothing. But now if you you can make any down payment you want, and then it figures out how much. So
Yeah.
I put in that I'd make like a $300 payment. It only the next plan will only go up $19.
No, that's not
So it's
too
not that's not bad. It's still $20 more than I'm paying, but it's only $20.
bad. So, the first 8K satellite broadcast was live in Japan. 8K, everybody. 8K.
That's crazy because I didn't even I know 8K is coming. I just don't know. I've never seen one.
No,
We're,
we're still years away from an actual TV coming out for consumers. But I think we'll see it in theaters in maybe like 2 or 3 years.
Oh wow! I can. They 8K. They must have to use like a even higher response time, huh?
Oh my God! Yeah, you wouldn't. Oh my, wow! But computer power is getting ridiculous though lately. Though.
Later, Gecko. Thanks for
How
watching.
powerful like computer power is getting. We're just going we're jumping the shark.
Why do we need 8K? Stuff looks pretty good at 4K.
Yeah,
Stuff
okay,
looks pretty
but
good
you
at
gotta,
2K.
You gotta step back though and have more perspective. When you're younger and you looked at TV and VHS, it looked beautiful. If you really think, the way you remember it, it looked beautiful. And then you go and watch it nowadays after seeing HD, and you go, "Oh my God!"
It's like
What
going to a
was I watching?
Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh my God, it looks awful.
And I remember the first time I saw HD, I was like, "Holy crap, that's gonna cost $1 billion."
Yeah.
All right, but here's the thing, though, Nate. Screw 8K. Focus more on other improvements that we neglect because visual is the most important thing. It's the same thing with video games, where they just keep upping what makes the game look better and neglecting AI and other things that could improve the game too. Like, you got 8K footage. Is there any other improvements other than making the picture better that we're just neglecting to make the picture look better every time?
Well, no, but you're talking about but that in that industry though,
They're not really making the 8K for gaming yet.
they're not.
No, I just meant in general. I mean, like, they make an 8K TV. Is there other things they could do to improve the TV that isn't just making the visuals prettier?
Not really, because all you're showing is media, so that's all you're doing. So all you ever want to do is improve the picture. There's
Give me
nothing
some
else
better
you can do.
sound.
And they're
Focus
getting,
on some sound
yeah,
better.
they could probably add like better speakers, but most of the time people buy like a soundbar or a surround sound system.
But that's my argument.
Yeah.
Is that
But the
they,
thing is,
they
though,
focus so much on this 8K. It looks great already at 4K and at 2K, and they neglect other stuff that they could
Well,
improve.
it's not so much neglecting. You got to remember, it's a completely different industry that deals with a picture than that deals with a sound. Those are two completely different. They don't even slightly probably even talk to each other.
What about reliability? You know,
What do you mean?
spend some time in making it so that the images don't burn, so that people don't get stuck having to replace their TV every 10 years.
TVs don't really burn anymore.
No, that's as soon as
That's a thing of
LED
the
as
past.
soon as LED started coming around,
Yeah.
there was no more heat problems anymore.
Because LEDs don't heat up. Those bright LEDs we used for the camera, I can touch them.
Yeah, as soon as LED started becoming a thing, and that's what the standard is right now, that's not a problem anymore.
What else? What could they do to improve besides the resolution?
Besides-
I'm just saying that if they could try
The sound
coming up with
definitely.
it-
Yeah,
The whole smart TV thing,
smart
it's,
TV thing's not a thing. I
it's-
think if anything, they could improve the functionality as far as gestures, and as far as like, for instance, like having things built in. Not so
Wait,
much a
wait, wait,
smart
wait.
TV.
How is smart TV not a thing?
Well, no, the reason why I say smart TV things not built into the TV should not be a thing. The reason why is because the hardware becomes outdated and not supported very shortly. When it's wiser to get a component that actually connects to your TV that you can actually just throw away and get a new one that's actually upgraded, because the chance of you upgrading the smart TV device than the TV itself will be a lot quicker.
Yeah,
And-
but there's a limit to how that causes a problem. Like, what if they just had a smart TV chip that allowed for voice controls like a Kinect? It wouldn't need to be upgraded because once they get it working voice control wise, they don't need to upgrade that. So you walk in your house and you go TV channel 10, and it turns on and clicks the channel 10 for you.
Well, no, the reason why it would need upgrade, say if like they updated it, say this is a hypothetical situation, they upgraded it and they upgraded the vocabulary and they upgraded the detail of the gestures, and say you were talking to someone else that had an upgraded one. Now you're going to have conflict between two computers and you're going to cause glitches.
and most of the time, people don't use the stuff on
Yeah,
smart
but they
TVs.
can update through firmware. I know most people don't use them, but I'm saying, how is it not a thing? It could
It's
be a thing.
Well,
it could be.
They're just not doing it right yet.
Well, the problem is they stopped supporting the firmware very shortly. We've seen this over and over again with the smart TVs, where they
Yeah.
just stopped supporting the firmware, and they just tell the consumer, "Oh, just go buy a new TV," and they're like, "I like my TV. I just
Yeah.
I just want the smart device to work better, like
Yeah,
everybody
'cause
else's."
I have a
My
smart one.
argument is just that it's just that it's a very good idea that they're not supporting right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my main
Like, you
thing
made it
is,
sound like it was a bad idea, and I was just like, no, I think it's a very good idea. They
No,
just
it is.
don't. They're
It's a
not
great
doing
idea.
it right at all.
it's a great idea, but I think it needs to be a separate device though that plugs into the TV. So, because it seems like when it's a separate device, it's cheaper, and if they stop supporting it, it's a lot cheaper just to throw away that device and get a new one.
True. Yeah. So if
You also have
it's
to
like
take
getting
in
a
greed,
VCR,
too.
it's like getting a surround sound system with a DVD player in it. When that DVD player breaks, now you have a surround sound system, and you got to buy another DVD player, and it just looks awful because you got two DVD players sitting there,
It's-
and you can't fix that one.
And you gotta take greed into account too, because I'm sure these
Oh,
people,
yeah,
people like, we don't want it to work for 5-6 years because then they won't buy a new one.
Willitron wants to understand 8K.
8K just looks better than it did before. It's not needed, but crazy people want it.
Do you have an HD TV, Willitron?
So
Like
Willitron-
1080p?
So Willitron, say you have say you have an what do you call it, 1080p TV right now, and so that projects. Oh, well, not project, but it's 1080. You see things in 1080
Resolution.
That's 1K. That's where that 1000 comes from. And then you go to 4K, so that's 4000. So that's 4 times the resolution of 1K. Then you double that 4K, which would be the next step up. That's 8K. So that's 8,000 times whatever. Like, that's huge. And you're talking about the amount of pixels you can fit in such a small space.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It's basically
The
you take your 1080p panel, right? And you take 8 of them and squash them down into 60 inches. There's 8K. There's that much resolution in there that you can take a picture, an 8K picture, and you can literally see inside the house what they're having for dinner.
Yeah. It's really,
Yeah, to break it down in the layman's terms, man, it's sharper and more vibrant color. So anything that you see on the screen, you're not going to have trouble seeing stuff because it's sharper. Look at a VHS tape compared to now. There's blurry stuff. When they move, stuff blurs. The higher the resolution gets, the less it's going to happen. My argument is that it's at the point now with like a 2K or a 4K that you don't get pretty much any blur. It's pretty easy to see what's going on.
Yeah,
so the
that's
8K
true.
just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, you're just adding more ice cream to the top of my already filled ice cream.
But all that industry is going to go up. That's all they're going to do.
Yeah, they're always just gonna go up. That's how industry works.
Yeah.
But like, I can tell you with 4K, I've never felt like something was coming at me with a 1080p TV. But when I walked by a 4K and there was like a trolley coming by, I was like,
Oh yeah.
whoa,
Yeah. It's
wait a
awesome.
second. It literally looks like you're standing there on the street.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and that's why with like VR headsets, that's why they are going in the 1080. You got two 1080p signals on your left and right eye, so it looks clearer. And I'll explain that more with our VR mobile VR headset talk we'll have next week on our show.
Yeah, the resolution's important with those. They
Yeah.
can cut corners a little bit because people haven't experienced it yet, and it like again, that's why I think the PlayStation 1 is going to do so well. It's going to have a lower resolution, but it's also going to be a bunch of people who have
Thank you,
never
Trixie.
experienced VR at all. So they're going to see it, and that lower resolution is not going to matter to them because they're going to be like, "Oh my god!" And
Yeah.
then as they want more, better will come along.
Yeah.
So, that TV that you buy, that 4K TV, well, guess what? What if it was delivered by a drone? Because Feds just gave Google okay to test product wing drone delivery.
Not just a drone, a flying drone with wings.
Excuse me, let me open up the window and order a hot dog.
So I don't
Let
know.
me hit my Amazon button.
That's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know if it works well, and we don't have people go out there with their shotguns when they're drunk
That's gonna
going-
happen.
and going,
Oh, yeah.
God damn, I'm over, let's go, birds. And then
There's
shoot
be a
down
lot of stupid hillbillies.
shoot
it
down
hap-
a
it
damn
happens
drone,
now.
man. Come on,
happening
that was my
now.
pizza.
There
know-
are people in the South right now that are like, if I see a drone fly over my property, I'll shoot it down
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they own everything.
I know that when they allowed them Amazon to use drones, it had to be within a mile radius or something, maybe
Yeah.
even smaller than that, and they had to fly over the streets. They
Yeah.
couldn't like fly over houses.
Yeah,
or
you can't
anything.
fly over houses. There was all kind of limitations to it. In a sense, we're getting to a future. I can't remember what movie it was. There was a movie where things were getting delivered by drones. This was back in like the 80s, and I can't think. I'll think of it eventually. But we're seeing with the future.
What else was in the movie? You got me hung up now.
I can't think of the movie, but I remember. I can just see the movie playing in my head.
Was there
Well-
anything else in it?
We'll get back. It was like a cheesy. It wasn't. It was like a B-rated sci-fi movie.
Action movie?
It was kind of action. But
You're not talking about Blade Runner.
No, God no.
I would have to murder you if you call that
no,
cheesy.
No. So we'll eventually remember that, folks. Anyway, if you remember it in the chat, let us know. So
You gave no info.
So well, that wasn't the topic anyway. So,
There were drones that delivered stuff. What movie was it?
So Ray pulled to the dark side. Now the reason why I brought this up because when I first saw this guy's YouTube video, we're not gonna play the video. If you guys want to go to the video, and check it out, I will actually copy this and put it in chat. But or can I not?
You're not clicking on it. There you go. Oh, it's a Control V thing.
Oh yeah. So anyway, if you go to search YouTube and search Ray Pulls to the Dark Side on YouTube, you should find this guy's YouTube video. This I'm really glad because I came up with this theory like a while ago after I got done reading the Force Awakens novel after it came out, because there's a lot of hints in the novel that point this out. And I said it to my friend Doug, and he was like, no, it can't be. He wasn't so much for it. And all the other people I talked to were like, no, they're not going to do that. They wouldn't do that. It's Luke's daughter. And I just kept on nagging at me that this was a possibility. Then this guy came out with a video, and he actually worked with a couple other people, and he found there's a lot of clues in the movie that I missed when I was watching it that are in the book as well. It's just that they're a lot more subtle in the movie. And it really is. They are going to pull I'm convinced now they're pulling Rey to the dark side. And the big thing that took it for me is at the end of the book, So anybody who hasn't seen Force Awakens, sorry, there's a spoiler. So you haven't seen it. So
Wait, so who's the bad guy then?
anyway, I'll get to that. Anyway, at the
And
end,
the good guy.
at the end of the Force Awakens in the novel, and in the book, you'll see there's a scene where Kylo Ren is about to beat Rey in the fight, and he's holding her, and he's like, "I can train you," and he's showing more of an emotion, like, "Hey, I'm going to help you. I don't want to kill you. I'm going to help you." And then when it comes back and she's actually winning the fight in the book, you don't see this in the movie because you can't hear what's going on in her head in the movie, but in the book it goes on what's going in her head. And this was in the original script for her motive as an actress of what she's supposed to be doing. She hears a voice in her head saying, "Kill him," and it's what do you call it? It says it's a dark presence. What do you call it? That beckons in the back of her mind to kill him as she's walking over him after she just knocked him down. And it goes, wow. And he was about to let her live, and the first thing she thinks of as soon as she gets the upper hand in the fight is to kill him. Oh, wow. Like, that's crazy. Like, the first thing she thinks of is to kill somebody. And there's a presence in the back of her head. And it's almost like the presence, like the first thing, like when Luke starts hearing Obi-Wan's voice, and it's like a cunning voice to do the right thing. This is more like the Emperor's voice in the back of her head. And then someone analyzed the fight stance of how she fights and what she does in her fight, and it matches, it almost mirrors the fight with the fight against the 4 Jedi in Revenge of the Sith, and the fight with Yoda. The way she moves and the way she used the lightsaber is the movement's exact to the Emperor. It's so and the fact that would be the only reason why Luke would actually leave her on that planet and not come back for her. And at the end of the movie, because eventually the script was released, so anybody could read it. At the very end, the direction for Mark Hamilton's character was, portray a look of horror and fear as Rey walks up to you with the lightsaber. Now, that's because, you gotta think, if he was planning on leaving, if he knew he was Palpatine's daughter because he actually sought her out, was training her, the Jedi Temple fell. There was no other choice at that point but to just make sure no one else found her because she had such power, and put her on the outskirts of the universe and pretty much just forget her. Now, as Luke sees her coming up that hill, he's like, the first thing you think of while he's in horror, it's like, oh my God, she made it back. This is a really bad thing. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this.
Okay, can I jump in here?
Now, yes.
Okay, first of all, I want you to play this for a good laugh to the fans. Okay? Now, I'm going to play some devil's advocate here. So, are you saying she's the bad guy of the films?
She's going to be turned to the dark side by the end of the next film.
Is she going to be permanently the bad guy? And if so, who's the good guy?
Well, no, we don't. Okay, we already know there's a lot more hints. Okay, if anybody wants to read the Force Awakens novel,
Just give me a quick question.
It's really good. Kylo Ren, it doesn't show it so much in the movie, but he is really, really struggling not to go to the light side. I mean, really bad. Like, he is
okay, so you think Kylo
Ren's
Ren's going to be the good guy?
Yeah, he is. Like,
okay.
It shows it a lot more in the book that he is going to be on the light side by the end of the movie.
I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I think that, although your theory is amazing, I think it's not going to happen. Reason number 1, written by committee filled with PC people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Reason number 2, because it's written by committee and PC people. Wait, we got to show it for a second. All right, anyway. So, because it's filled with all these PC people, they know 100% that they are trying to pander to a crowd of really crazy people. And if they turn her evil and they turn Kylo Ren good, they will flip out and call misogyny because it's another white guy hero saving the universe and not the princess that was supposed to. And I know that sounds crazy, but mark my words, dude.
No, I know, and you're right with a lot of people, but those clues wouldn't be in the book so relevant if they weren't going to do this.
You have no idea. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm saying if they do, that's what's going to happen, and I think that might be something that stops them from doing it.
And there's actually and then another thing, a lot of people are saying, like, it's Luke Star, it's Luke Star.
Don't stop the video. No, you got to keep going. Don't stop the video, dude.
Can't play the music. We'll get cut.
Yeah, we'll get cut if we play the music.
Dude, what are you talking about? It's on YouTube, man. The video has no copyright infringements. It's been up for it's been up for years. It's got 1 million views, dude. No one's getting a copyright infringement for this.
I know, but the terms on YouTube distinctly state they can pull it down. We just don't want our any videos pulled down.
We got snagged on one already.
Yeah.
It's a karaoke too, so you're not going to get that pulled down. But
No, I know.
whatever.
We just don't want
It's
to
not her
because-
actual music. But anyway, long
Anyway.
story short, he starts singing, and it's freaking hilarious. And Nate ruined it for you.
No,
Go check
no,
it out.
I've seen the
I
video.
did that. I did that.
Anybody in the chat can go check it out. So anyway, so the fact that what's going to happen, there's another book that's also out that takes place right before The Force Awakens called Bloodlines that I finished reading a few weeks ago, and it shows like she's still talking like the original New Republic has not fallen yet. It falls in that book, and then we get the resistance that we see in the movie that Leia's running. But in that book, she's distinctly still talking to Ben. He hasn't pulled him to the dark side yet, and she distinctly talks to Luke periodically, and she distinctly says that he is stuck to the Jedi Order and has never took a wife or like a spouse or anything. So there is no way, in any way, shape, or form, that is his daughter at all.
Oh no, it's definitely not his daughter, because I think that given how bad the writing was in the first movie, that it's 100% cliche, and that is him and her and Kylo Ren are twins, and they are in fact both Han and what's her name's daughter, and they don't tell you this yet because it's bad writing and implausible, but they don't care because it's American movies nowadays. They'll just bring it in later on.
Well, no, Kylo Ren's 12 years older than Rey.
I don't.
Kylo Ren's 31 years
All right,
old.
if not twins, they're still brother and sister. Mark my words.
No, they're not. What do you call it? That's also distinctly in Bloodlines. After Han and Leia had their child Kylo Ren, Leia could not have kids anymore. That was it.
They explain all that.
Yes, that's all in Bloodlines. The history of Han and Leia.
With the way the writing was in the movie, I expect some cliche bullshit that everybody knows is coming.
No,
I don't. Your theory is so complicated that I don't think the writers are that smart. You know what I mean?
Well, there's also hints, like for instance, like Leia leads on in Bloodlines that though I think Kylo Ren does know where Luke is, because it says when she's talking to the people that are reading the book, and she says, what do you call it? That Ben is with his uncle off looking for the original Jedi Temple. And that's where Luke is now. So I think Kylo Ren does know where Luke is. So, and we're going to get to see that in the very beginning of the next movie.
Which is not for a while.
Yeah, not for a while. But the fact is, I think this is my own thing, and I don't know how far they will go. I personally think Rey is going to kill Luke at the end of the next movie.
Well, you know what? That actually lends credence to my argument about bad writing and terrible stuff nowadays in Hollywood, because that would make sense. Because in the first episode, they make you think Kylo Ren's going full darkside by killing his father, and then in the next one, they make her go full darkside. But you know what I mean? It's like, why don't we just retell the original story over and over again?
Well, the thing is, though, you got to think from her. If they do this route, they think from her perspective. If she finds out that Luke distinctly put her on that planet and was not coming back for her, she is going to be pretty pissed off.
That's one thing I don't like with movies or shows or anything. Things like that, when the people just refuse to understand why they did that. I did it for your own good, or else you would have been like this guy. You know? Oh, you know what? You're right. Instead of being like, I could have figured it out for myself. This miscommunication drives me crazy in shows.
It's like the implausible stupidity of convenience in all movies to make stuff sound cooler.
Yeah, and then
just inconvenient bullshit.
Yeah, and there's kind of hints like Leia almost sacrifices herself a few times in Bloodlines in the book. I think at the end of the next movie, we're going to see Leia's going to die. I'm almost positive that Leia's going to die at the end of the next movie. And it's what's going to pull, Ben back to the light side. And he's going to be the leader of the resistance.
I still, I agree with you on all all the logic, but I still think they're going to illogically go, we can't do that because we're going to piss off too many people.
Yeah.
These movies are being written by committee. If someone in the committee sits down and says we're going to make the hero girl turn out to be the bad guy,
no,
going to be like, that's not cool.
I understand where you're coming from, because a lot of movies do it and it drives me up a wall. But how would you explain the fact that they would write that in the script, that Rey hears a dark presence in her voice that says to kill him?
Because it's like what I said before with the illogical bullshit. Like nowadays with movies, they'll do something that makes no sense because they think it sounds cool. and then
Yeah, but-
they'll just tie it in with some outrageous bullshit that makes even less sense.
Yeah, but we're talking about
Like,
JJ.
for example, the guy who made Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull said, "Wouldn't it be cool if a nuke blew up when Indy was there and he hid in a refrigerator?" And someone went, "It's impossible. That wouldn't work right." And they said, "Shut up. We're doing it anyway because it will look cool."
Yeah, but
That's what it is.
Yeah, but that's like those kind of directors. We're talking about J.J. Abrams.
Did you see the last Star Wars Trek movie? Did you watch the last Star Trek movie?
Yes, I love the Star Trek
I
movie.
know how to
It
make
was
the ending
fantastic.
really.
I love the
Yeah,
last Star
it was
Trek movie.
great, except for the very end. I want to make this
My
really
favorite
cool,
part.
Yeah.
dude. The end was ridiculously terrible.
Well,
Throughout the whole movie, the guy is a super strong alien dude. At the end, he turns into a weak human. They wrote that in strictly so that Kirk could fight him.
yeah.
Like that it was implausible to the storyline they had told, but they wanted to make sure that Kirk could fight against him, so they wrote in some bullshit about him turning back into a human and being normal, just so they could fight.
Well, no, that really.
That's what I'm talking
No,
about.
but I know, but like the main main end of that story was the fact that war is never an answer, no matter what you think. It's
Yeah,
not an
that
answer.
that's cool. I'm not talking about all that shit, but you're talking about an implausible storyline, Nate. What you're saying is why did they put this in so that she would seem evil, right? And I'm trying to tell you that the writers nowadays take ideas they think are cool and they don't care how they reach that idea, which is why they were like, well, we need to have Kirk fight this dude at the end, but how he won't be able to fight him. He's way too strong.
No.
Oh, we'll just turn him back to normal. And be like, well, how'd that happen? We're not going to explain how he turned back to normal. He's just back to normal. Deal with it. That's what
No,
I mean.
I
Like,
understand,
it's an
but-
implausible angle that they'll just write in.
But the Star Wars universe is very complex, and there's a lot of lore with the Star Wars universe.
But they
where a
didn't
lot of things
explain
tie
you
together.
why he turned back to normal,
Star
and
Trek.
they did
Star
that
Trek,
because because the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just that movie. I can think of other movies.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Why he started turning.
Exactly. There was a recent movie I just watched. The Civil War. Civil War. The entire series of Civil War has people dying in the comic books, but for some odd reason, they are for one, the entire argument in the movie has best friends refusing to listen to each other's opinion about the thing and just wanting to hate each other. Then they all go to fight, but nobody gets hurt except for the one dude, and the dude that got hurt by accident. in a fight of superheroes. And why did no one get hurt? Because they sat down and they said, we want to tell this story, but we don't want to offend or piss off any of our fans by killing or hurting any of their heroes.
Yeah,
So we're going to get the
no,
least
and-
liked hero, and we're going to hurt him,
Yeah, and we've
and we're
seen this.
just going to breeze through the rest.
And we've seen this with one of our favorite shows, which that drove me up a wall with their finale, with The Walking Dead.
Yeah. But at least with The Walking Dead, they're not afraid to kill people, and
They are because
Someone's going to die.
they didn't show it, so they are.
well, that was a cliffhanger trick, but he's going to die next season.
Yeah.
Someone's going to die. They're not afraid to kill people. They're not afraid that it might hurt their ratings to kill people. But,
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying there's a 50-50 chance you're right because you got a lot of great theories, but there's also a 50-50 chance that someone's sitting in that freaking thing going, we can't do that. It's going to piss off too many people, and we don't want to offend these people. She's a hero. She's a hero to children and females everywhere, so she's got to stay strong.
Well-
that's why she broke out of all of her prison cells on her own without ever being trained in freaking Jedi magic.
Yeah. Well, there was a clue. Well, the reason why I say that Luke is going to die at the end of this next movie, because of the writer of the next movie, is during one of the shoots today, he posted an Instagram photo of the robe that Luke Skywalker is wearing on the hanger in the cave, and nobody there anymore. And that a lot of people the Instagram blew up on this, speculating that was a sign that Mark Hamill has walked off the set. His character is gone.
Well, that makes perfect sense. Like, let me put it this way: if they make her evil at all, she'll be fine by the third movie. Like, that series is not going to end with her being
the true bad guy is going to be Snoke. That's obvious.
Yeah. Before the end of that series, she will be back to being the pristine princess hero that can't be defeated.
Well,
and
no, she'll
maybe
be.
Kylo Ren will be with her.
Well, no, she'll be a spy Jedi. Now, a lot of people don't know in the Jedi lore, a yellow lightsaber is distinctly marked with espionage, with spy work, stuff like that. And most of the time, it's a bow staff. Like a good 99% of the time, they have bow staffs as for lightsabers, like in the Phantom Menace.
So not a saber.
No,
a bow staff.
so she's going to be both on the dark side and the light side. I think, and because that's what the yellow lightsabers mean. They're on both sides.
Neutral.
Neutral, and they're like the spies for the Jedi in the lore.
Huh.
So anyway, let's move on.
Megalomaniac's right about that too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They figured the best way to make him hit, the best way to make people hate the bad guy is to do that.
Yeah. Which is like part of Kylo Ren's character, I think, though, is going to be the fact that he's going to be repenting for killing his father the rest of the series once he turns to the light side. And that's why he's going to take over leading the resistance once his mom is killed.
It's plausible.
So anyway, let's moving on to Mr. Robot. This is like, oh my god, this is like the topic I'm waiting for. Love this show. Holy crap. And the fact that I've been reading, like, listening to so much podcasts with like hacktivists on them and everything, and lately they've been just blowing up with like talking about Mr. Robot. They've gotten so many people on there, and all these hacktivists. They got one of the ones I listened to was with Craig Hoosher. He was a hacker who was originally with the big I Am Legion movement that happened back 2008. He was also involved with some nefarious things, and he was put in jail for a little bit of time. Anyway, he distinctly stated he was going on about Mr. Robot because now he's a consultant for the show as well. And he distinctly said, it's scary. He's like, this is the first time TV's finally portraying the hacktivist community the way we actually are, and the way how unsafe our world actually is. And he had a security analyst, like, he was asking like this guy questions on it, and he said, how safe is any computer system on this planet? And he said only 99%. He said the fact that we have a human element is what is, and the fact that this show shows that if someone's had driven enough and has the knowledge enough and wants to, they are going to get into your system no matter how secure you make it, because you have a human on the other end writing that program that's securing your program. And the fact that he said there's been a number of things that they've done throughout this show that have been real hacks in real life, and they've done it exact to the letter, including the programming you see on the screen while running Linux and Kali Linux. Like, they've done it to a T of exactly what that programming. So if you ran some of those scripts you see on the TV, they will actually work.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Nate?
Yes.
Are we gonna have to put you on suicide watch when it's canceled? I'm serious. I'm asking.
So,
like, are you gonna lose your crap when it's canceled by the end of this season? I was talking to Bazinga earlier about it, and I'm just wondering.
No, it's actually already been approved for the third.
That's not true at all, because its ratings are down 41% over the last season.
No, what do you call it? The interview with USA and what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. The writer of it. They already are in planning on the third season. They already have
Yeah, but they still gotta get greenlit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I know you're trying. You think I'm trying to bust your balls? Its ratings are down 41% over last season. It had roughly 3 to 4 million people watching it last season. Now it has 2 million. It's on death's door if people don't start watching it again, dude. That's the kind of cut that kills a TV show. Like, seriously, that's the kind of shit that kills a TV show. I can name a few. Revolution, remember that show? That show started out with like 6 million viewers, and within the first year and a half, the first season and a half, it went from 6 million to 1.2 million.
It went on to do 4 or 5 seasons, though. Still,
what?
It went on to do like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, but that's when you cut a show down by half over the 1.5 years, that's what happens. That show had 2 or 3 seasons of fine, and then over a season and a half, its ratings got cut in half, and that's when it got canceled. It's not how long it lasted, it's when it happens. Just like, for example, with your show here, if this had been on for 5 years and then its ratings cut in half, it would be canceled. This has been on a year and its ratings have been cut in half, and the worry is that it will be canceled again. I'm not making this up because I like when you kept bringing it up, I wanted to look it up and see how the show was doing, because you know me, I don't get into shows that I'm afraid are going to be canceled. Yeah. And the first thing I saw when I typed in ratings was 47% drop in its opening, and then over a course of the last few episodes, it has gone to 41% cut. No, and it stayed at that.
But steadily. I can also give you an example of a show that went even lower than that. It's actually my other favorite show that's coming back in August, called *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Oh yeah.
Last year, their second season, they dropped over 67% viewers. That's a lot. That's huge.
What channel is it on?
It was on AMC.
What's it called?
Halt and Catch Fire.
What is it?
It's about
It's about the
computer
80s.
in the 80s.
Yeah, it's about the upcoming of like computer technology in the 80s.
Is it like a reality show of some sort?
Yeah, it's like a basically.
Well, no, it's a drama.
It's a drama about like basically they start with how Atari actually there was an Atari that went online and they actually incorporated that into the storyline. They had a character that put an Atari online.
They made the first IBM compatible.
Yeah, they actually went through and they actually did. They used actually real things that actually went on in like Comp USA. Like they went and actually used real things that happened and put it into the storyline. Now during the second season, it dropped more than half its viewers. But people were sure that it was canceled. I was even sure. I was like, oh, it's done. It's completely done.
But I'll point out to you though, Nate, that show's on a different channel, and AMC is notoriously willing to go with shows no matter how they start out. Hell on Wheels started out with a pretty bad rating for its first 2 seasons, and they're still going. Like they don't cancel shows lightly because they're trying to build a catalog.
Well, no, I can tell you what happened though with *Halt and Catch Fire*. The big critics, not AMC, but the critics themselves, they watch it and they said this is probably one of the best shows we've seen since Mad Men. *Halt and Catch Fire*. They said you'd be dumb to drop this show, even though
they said the same thing about the Mindy Project, and they canceled that piece of crap.
Yeah, they said even though your ratings are this low, you'd be dumb to drop it. And what do you call it? So it's coming back in August. It has a 3rd season, and it's gonna be amazing. Just like all the reviewer, like the hacktivist community is going crazy over Mr. Robot right now. These people are watching it, but the problem is these people are not tracked on any kind of rating.
Because they don't pay to watch it.
Yes.
And they're not going to keep producing a show that people are stealing. The ratings drop by half because people are watching it, but they're all stealing it. And you don't make shows for people who are stealing your shows, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter how many of these hacktivists watch this show. If they're not paying to watch it, these people are not going to be able to pay to keep making it.
No, that's very true. You got a good point. But the fact is, one person made a good point. The fact that the problem with like *Halt and Catch Fire*, they made the point that the ratings are not exactly there because a lot of these companies are not tracking what people are watching on Hulu and on Netflix and on all the other service providers that are coming out because they don't exactly have a way to track it yet. So these numbers are there, but they're just not adding them in because they don't have a proper way to track it. But the numbers are there, and they are paying for these services
Is
to watch it.
Mr. Robot on there? Is
Well,
that on like Hulu?
Truth
I
be
think it's
told,
Hulu,
we don't know if they are there or not because you think they are, which is cool, but that doesn't mean they are. They could be people watching it on Hulu, and it could not be. If there's no way to track it, then in
They're
both
on
ways,
Amazon.
no
Sorry,
one
they're
knows.
no, they're not on Hulu. They're on Amazon Prime. That's right. Mr. Robot's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but my point still stands that if they can't track it, then either way, you don't know if it's good or not.
Well, they're
like
not, but you were talking about with money.
And I think they
People-
can track it because
people are paying money. No, they're going by Nielsen ratings, which are not tracked through any kind of online means.
dude, there's no way that they can't not track this, or else certain shows would be canceled on Netflix and stuff because they have their own basic shows and they know when their shows are doing good. Like that's why Daredevil was a hit for them. They know people are watching them, so I would expect Amazon knows how many people are watching Mr. Robot on their channel.
Yeah, but
on their stuff.
But USA is network TV, so it's tracked differently.
But that's an even scarier project because if it's a network television, dude, there should be more people available to watch that show.
Yeah, but
Like if that show was on a channel most people can't get and it had 2 million people and it lost half, that's still a success because there's 1 million people paying to watch this show. But if you're like on network television, you lose half your fan base over one season, then that's half the revenue gone.
All right, so what do you call it? Domino there?
D-Mano.
D-Mano. So the laptop that has a no boot sector. So your MBR record's most likely screwed, and where the MBR record was located on the hard drive mostly got corrupted. It's either the hard drive actually has to be replaced in the laptop, which is not that too hard. It's usually probably like one screw in the back of the laptop most of the time, and it comes right out. And then you just get a new hard drive and replace it. And the best way to actually do that is actually most SSDs will fit right in with the where laptop hard drive will go, and your laptop will run way faster.
Same people.
So problem with the SATA drive, the cycling disk check error. Can't access drive, can't allocate partition drive screen. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is probably about the same thing. So you have there's a bad
It's them.
Oh.
Same people.
So there's a bad sector in that drive. And there are, if you look up like I can't remember the name. I want to say it's called Super Duper. No, that's a cloning software. But there are software that actually will basically cut off bad sectors of drives and then reallocate them to different space on the hard drive so that it can be used. The drive will be smaller, but it'll run again.
Would you be able to do a like a defrag to fix it?
I think a dead sector is pretty much dead.
It's possible, but the problem is a defrag will fix it because it'll move all the files over. But as soon as any file runs into that bad sector again, it's going to die again.
Yeah.
Because that bad sector is causing it to die. And the thing is, hard drives are so cheap nowadays, it's so much easier to just go and pick up a new hard drive.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they probably don't have like a copy of Windows.
All right, guys, I gotta go because I still haven't eaten my dinner. Nate, the Mr. Robot thing, if that show makes it to season 3, I will check it out because it looks interesting. I'm not talking bad about the show. I saw that stuff and it makes me worried because I've seen good shows get canceled over stuff like that.
I know what you mean because, what do you call it? Freaking Stargate Universe got killed for those dumb reasons.
John Doe was an awesome
Hell,
show.
Enterprise, dude. Enterprise. Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, and they rushed the ending, which was dumb.
Canceled because of quick ratings drops like that.
And they had to rush the ending, and the ending should have been so much better, and they rushed it.
Shouldn't even been the ending.
Well,
But
no,
I
that
gotta go
was-
so I can
all
eat.
right.
So that was interesting. I guess I'll see you guys Sunday for our super secret stuff that no one's supposed to know about that now people know about. Thanks. Why don't you stick a picture up again, Nate? Break another NDA.
That was Mr. Grimm,
You
everybody.
two need to send me your Uplay
You
names.
breakouts, yes, we will.
Oh,
Get it,
jeez.
because I'm gonna give it to Nate, and then Nate can throw the name to me, and I'll get and then download it before Sunday night.
And so everybody knows there's no retro arcade game this Saturday. We'll be playing something else, so stay tuned to watch.
What are we playing on Saturday?
You can do your Warhammer thing.
Oh yeah, we can do Warhammer, possibly.
You haven't played that.
Why are we not playing Retro Arcade Saturday?
I gotta go to a wedding.
Because Mr. Bazinga, the studio is not going to be available on Saturday.
Okay, then maybe we could get together at my house and play some fighting games, dude, and stream it.
Okay.
I'm not positive. Oh no, screw it, dude. Oh no, because we can't stream it. I keep forgetting that. All right, we'll find something fun to play. There's got to be something me and you can play together. All right, so I'm off. Later. Thank you guys for watching.
Later. So they took the drive out and put it on a USB to SATA in Windows. Said it is not initialized and unallocated. That's odd. Was there a surge?
Yeah, it sounds like something drastic happened to that hard drive. Something really drastic happened to that hard drive. And like I said, there are software that can config a lot of the sectors and stuff in the hard drives, and we'll try to post that if I know what I can see the program in my head, but I can't think of the name of it. But there are programs, and the thing is, these programs run in basic machine language almost. You run these programs, and it takes a good about day because it goes through every sector of your hard drive, but it will get it running again most of the time. So anyway, this is one of the damn coolest chargers I've ever seen. A charger that levitates your smartphone. Holy crap. I want this charger on my phone.
Now, how does it plug into your phone, or do you have to have a special phone that does wireless charging?
Well, yeah, you have to have a special phone that does wireless charging, and then this little piece hooks to the back of your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a magnet or something inside there, and then the magnet reflects and charges. But yeah, it's basic concept.
That's cool.
But yeah, I can't wait for this to come out. And our last article, because we want to do this show forever. Scientists have figured a way to possibly extend life and stop cells from aging through a hormone and through a male hormone, which is going to be really interesting. And I don't know if anybody else caught this. There was a great thing on Twitch today called Human X Design, and it was a big promotional for Deus Ex new game. And they had a whole bunch of scientists, they had a whole bunch of people, futurists, all kinds of people, talking about augmented reality and, basically people integrating technology into their bodies and all that, basically crazy stuff. And they were talking about, once we do make this breakthrough that you see here, where eventually we do extend life for cells, And right now, this experiment is only going to extend it like partially, and it'll basically help so organs don't break down as easy like when you get older. This is what this is leading to. But eventually, we get to the point where we cure the aging problem. Should it be a human right to live as long as you want? And me personally, yes. Once we get that technology, I think it should be a right. You can choose how long you want to live, because it's your body, it's your life. You can do what you want.
Zombies.
And a lot of people tend to think that it'll be more of a utopia where the rich will only get it. But the fact is, if if the community is involved enough and we put enough legislation to it, when things like this finally happen, it will be a right. But people have to just remember that. And we will have the right to live as long as we want.
They're going to mess up and create a zombie outbreak. They're going to re-age the dead. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have your Resident Evil. They're going to make that thing, which is really funny because my audio is going out again. They made that anti-aging cream from like VO5 or something like that, and it has the same similar like
exactly.
Helix. It's got the Helix design.
Yeah,
that was really freaking weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, this makes me real safe. They took it from the movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to make yourself look young? Put the stuff on, and then they all turn into zombies.
You look down the makeup aisle and there's a lady eating another lady.
This zombie stuff is good.
Oh man, that'd be crazy. So that'd be our last topic for tonight. I hope everybody learned something tonight, and thank you for the questions in the chat room. I hope we helped you out. And definitely everybody go watch out Mr. Robot. We gotta keep that show
watch
going.
it so it doesn't get
We
canceled.
gotta keep that show going, and watch it on actual TV because they don't have radio otherwise. On that, definitely check us out on all forms of media. We're on YouTube. We're on Podbeam. We're on every podcast freaking app you can think of. Definitely download us, give us a rating, put something in the comments if you want. Just go to town. If you're watching us on Twitch right now and you're not following us yet, give us a follow. If you are following us, thank you for the follow. And if you watch us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We thank you very much for that. And you can make sure you can get notifications from when our next episode comes up. And if you're watching us on Podbean, give us a follow so you know when the next episode is posted. Other than that, that'd be it, folks, for tonight. And we will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Have a good night, folks.
See you later.